is case number 174 on the calendar in the matter of Lopez versus Gonzalez. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats, please.
Mr. Lopez, you and the defendant have a child together. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is your complaint that the defendant had you arrested on false charges of assault, domestic violence, and you want to be compensated for that. And in addition, you want a home entertainment center that you say was yours, that is in the defendant's home. The defendant says that the home entertainment center was a gift. You did, in fact, assault her, and she is counterclaiming for her injuries.
I don't have nothing. He took everything.
The defendant says the home entertainment center was a gift. Do you still have it?
No, he took everything.
She doesn't have it. And that you did, in fact, assault her. And her counterclaim is for the injuries that she suffered during the course of this assault, which occurred around Christmas time. Is that right?
Christmas Day.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lopez. Were you living with the defendant at the time that you were arrested?
I was moving out. I was in the moving out.
He was already a week out.
I'm going to get to you in a minute, but don't interrupt him. What do you mean you were in the process of moving out? What does that mean?
The day after Thanksgiving, we had a really big argument, and we had broken up. So we made an agreement by no later than the first week of January that I had to have everything of mine moved out and be completely moved out. I was staying between there, like a few days if I babysitted my son, or I stood at my best friend's house or my mother's house.
So most of the time you weren't living there?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about Christmas Day. You came over to the house?
What happened was we agreed to meet up at my best friend's house. We picked up my son and her son, her other child, and we agreed to go back to her house, to her apartment, and open up the children's gifts together. And from there, when we arrived at the home, we opened the gifts. She asked me to stay a little bit longer while she took a shower so I could watch the children. I agreed. At that time, I received a phone call from my fiancée on my fiancée's cell phone, just before she went to the bathroom to take a shower. At that time, I was speaking to her. I explained to her what time I was going to be finished. I explained to her that she was going to take a shower and I was going to meet up with her right after. At that time, she began screaming, saying stuff that didn't need to be said over the phone for my fiancé to hear. So at that time, I said, why are you acting up? You know what? I'm not going to stay. I'm leaving. She began an argument. I tried to leave. I had my son in my arms with the cell phone. She wouldn't let me leave. So I said, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm leaving my son. I put my son down in the crib. At that time, I dropped the cell phone in the crib without knowledge when I put my son down. I tried to leave. She blocked the doorway. I kept on explaining to her, move, move. I want to leave. I'm not staying. I'm out. She didn't want to let me. So then I barged through. She had her arms spread out against the doorway, holding me, not letting me go. So when I barged through so I could leave, she scratched her arm. So I left. When I got outside, I went to go call my fiancé.
That is not your
And when I got downstairs,
Ms. Gonzalez, I don't want to hear it's not true again. Do you understand?
No problem.
No, that's not an answer. The answer is yes, Your Honor, I understand. I will not interrupt again.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. I will not interrupt again.
That's right. Go ahead.
So outside, I went to make an attempt to call my fiancé, and I noticed I didn't have the phone. So when I went back upstairs...
That was stupid.
Because the phone was upstairs.
That was stupid.
I went and I looked for the phone. And
say yes, that was stupid.
Yes, it was stupid. So I asked her if she had the cell phone.
You had just gotten out of the house. You pushed her. She scratched her arm, according to you. You leave the cell phone and you go. You don't go back into a confrontational area, sir. That's stupid, Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you go back upstairs. What happened when you went back upstairs?
When I got upstairs, I asked her, did she have the cell phone? She says, I don't have it. So as I looked through the house, I remembered I had it in my hand when I put my son down. When I looked into the crib, my son wasn't in the crib. I went and found my cell phone under the sheet. Again, I attempted to leave. Again, she blocked my way. I said, just move, then move. At that time, she told me she had called the cops and I was going to be arrested. I said, well, I'm leaving. And outside the door, a lady, which I had never seen before in this building, for the whole year I was living there, had my son. As I attempted to take my son from the lady, 2 female officers were coming upstairs.
What were you taking your son from the lady for?
I didn't know the lady. If I don't know the person, I don't want nobody I don't know having my son in my hands. I don't know what they'll do. So the 2 officers were downstairs. They came, and they brought us all into the apartment. Me, her, and the 2 kids. While we were in the apartment, the officers explained because this domestic problem, they were going to arrest both of us. At that time, they would take both children and put them in child custody. I said, I'm not pressing no charges. I don't want nothing. I just want to go home. My son can stay. I have no problem. At that time, the female officer told me to stand by the door, don't move. So at that time, there was a knock at the door. 2 more officers came. 2 male officers now. We go back inside, she's in there screaming. Next thing you know, all I hear is her mother screaming at me, Jason, I wouldn't do this to you, and she said, why are you doing this? I said, what's going on? The officer said, turn around, and they handcuffed me. Later, when I was taken down to central booking for arrest, I was informed of the charges. It was assault, assault with weapon, child endangerment. They said I put a knife to my son's back. At no time did I ever touch a knife to grapple against my son. Because of that, I had charges of an ACS for attempted on my child, and
All right, you were held in jail for 2 days, is that right?
for, yeah, almost 2 days. I called my fiance.
All right, the charges were subsequently dismissed when you decided to drop all charges against each other, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you see your son now so regularly?
No.
Why not?
I still can't, because she won't let me see my son.
Uh-huh.
It's a struggle for me to see my son.
All right.
And every time we went to family court for me to get a chance to see my son, she made false charges, knowing I was going to get visitation of my son, that had me arrested.
Okay. I'd like to see first the medical bills that you have as a result of this incident on Christmas Day.
I didn't get to get the medical bills because this happened so quick that I didn't get a chance to get them. So I have my pictures.
Let me see all the papers you have. All the papers.
Your Honor, Judy.
Shh, just a minute.
I have a scar on my left hand.
Just a minute.
And the lady that
Just a
called,
second. These scratches are what you're talking about?
Yeah, I had a scratch.
All right.
I had a hairline fracture in my left hand.
Don't tell me you had a hairline fracture without any medical bills, without reports. Don't tell me about a hairline fracture.
Excuse me, Judge.
I'll get to you in a minute.
Thank you.
I have a few questions for Ms. Gonzalez. The police officer who took this report took your statement, is that right?
Yes, and on the statement,
I'm speaking. The police officer who took the report took your statement, and he read the statement to you, is that right?
yes, he did.
And after he read the statement, he asked you if it was accurate, is that right?
Yes, he did.
And you said it was accurate, is that right?
That's right.
And you signed it.
Yes.
And you wouldn't have left out anything vitally important, is that right?
No.
So I'm going to read what you wrote in the statement.
I didn't write that. The officer.
I don't care whether you wrote it or the officer wrote it. I just asked you whether he read it to you and whether you signed it. You said yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jason Lopez says ex-girlfriend Suhey Gonzalez had him falsely arrested for domestic abuse. Suhey claims Jason slammed her hand in a door and held a knife to their son's throat.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, I'm going to read what you wrote in this police report. It says, at the time and place listed above, the perpetrator, that's him, who was the victim's common-law husband, did grab the victim by her throat, choked her, at which time he forced her left hand between the door and the wall and repeatedly slammed the door on the victim's hand, causing substantial pain and swelling to the victim's left hand. That's what this says, okay? Now I'm going to tell you what you wrote in your answer. When I told him to leave, he grabbed our son and tried to take him. When I tried to stop him, he pulled a knife out and held it to my son's neck. He said, if you don't let me take him, I'll kill both of us.
No, they didn't write it in the police.
They wrote nothing about a knife threatening to kill himself, threatening to kill this child. You know why they didn't write that down? Because you didn't tell them that.
Is that you?
No. Because you didn't tell them that.
All right,
at the
I
time.
didn't tell them exactly at the time.
Right, at the
because they had
time-
me in a separate room.
Hey.
They had him outside.
Just a second. At the time, you didn't tell them that he took out a knife, he held it to the baby's throat, he threatened to kill the baby. You told them that he hurt your hand and your hand was in pain, not that he threatened to kill your child. You made that up later.
No, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh, yes, you did.
They knew that he was the one. Can I say something now?
Yeah.
All right. In that police report, the lady signed, she's the one who signed right next to the statement, not me. Because I didn't call the cops because he broke my phone, and that's why. I didn't call the cops. The lady from my building called the cops. She's the one who had both of my kids because my oldest was crying. She's the one who called the cops.
Okay.
I didn't get a chance to call the cops.
Here we go.
Because he wanted to take my son, just like he took my son 3 weeks ago.
Let me explain to you what got you angry, Miss Gonzalez. I've been in this business a long time. He's at your house. According to your answer, he told you a couple of weeks before or a month before, he didn't want to have, I'm speaking, that he didn't want to have anything to do with you anymore. He had a new girlfriend. Clearly, he has a new girlfriend. All right?
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. He comes over to your house, right? According to your answer, you open up the Christmas presents together. It's all a nice family situation. You ask him to watch the kids while you go take a shower. This is what you write here. When you come out of the shower, you hear him on the phone with his girlfriend. I'm not saying that that's what happens to her. I'm saying that that's what she wrote in her answer. That makes one very angry.
Of course.
Of course. Of course that makes you very angry, because there you're here with him, with a new baby. He's taking care of the baby's presents. He's in your house Christmas time, and he's going to say goodbye to you, and he's going to go to girlfriend number...
And it was just a week that we had broken up.
Fine. So you're really angry. The knife was a nice touch. He wasn't arrested with a knife. He wasn't arrested with a knife.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
And I
you know what I'm
happened.
talking about.
And I know what happened.
Yeah,
And I know exactly what happened. Because he tried to take my son. He tried to take my son.
Just a second. What do you mean?
That's how... Who called my
Hey,
mother?
Miss
Who called my
Gonzalez.
mother? The lady?
Miss Gonzalez.
That called the cops?
Miss Gonzalez. Is he the father?
Yes, he's the father. And I'm not saying that
I'm
he's not.
speaking. Is he the father?
Yes.
Then you have no greater right to this child than he does.
But
Duh.
he kidnapped my son for
Duh.
3 weeks.
You can't kidnap your own child unless there's an order
This
of
is
custody.
recently. We've been going through this. I just want to go on with my
What
life.
I'm
I want
telling
him
you-
to go on with his life. If he wants to
Listen.
see his son, he's more than welcome to
Listen.
see his son.
Miss
I have nothing
Gonzalez,
wrong with that.
these-
But
I'm
you cannot
speaking.
see his son
I'm
because
going
he
to
has
say
order
1, 2, 3.
protection.
Then they're going to put you out. When you claim that you were severely assaulted, and the best picture that you can come up with is a picture showing me 2 scratches on your arm, 2 scratches. That's what they are. No hairline fracture, no hospital records, no... Well, all right. This was an argument. And unfortunately, because the police take domestic violence seriously, as they should, they got to arrest somebody.
And I lost my securities license.
Mr. Lopez, you do not get an A+ for smarts. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't get an A+ for going back for a $39.99 cell phone after you have already had an altercation with her, and you were out of the problem. You were outside.
Because he never
You
went
go.
outside.
Excuse me?
Because he never went outside. That's
Because you
why.
wouldn't let him go outside, Miss Gonzalez,
because he was
you
trying
were
to kidnap
so
my
angry.
son. He was trying to take my son. And he's devious like that, that he would take my son and leave. Just like he did 3 weeks ago. And that's why he was going to get rearrested. I had to get the cops to come get my son from his house.
You keep saying my son.
Because he's my son. Because he don't pay no child support. He doesn't do nothing.
What do you do for a living?
He hasn't done nothing.
What do you do for a living?
I was working.
What do you do for a living now?
Nothing.
Who supports the child?
I do.
No, not if you're not working. You get welfare?
Yes, I do.
If you get welfare, then I support your son. You think I should take him?
Yeah, but I was
Just a
working.
second, just a second. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? He doesn't support his child, and you don't support your child. I support your child. So that means that I should get custody? Don't be ridiculous. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you keep saying, it's my child. He's taking my child. He's entitled to see his child. It doesn't sound to me like he's too bright.
just stopped working,
Because he went
so-
from this child, you're going to have another child? You keep rubbing your belly, right?
Yes.
You got enough trouble with one. You're going to make another one?
Yep.
How many more do you have?
That's the only one. The only one coming.
In any event, I read the police report. I read the police report that doesn't talk about a knife to the throat, threatened to kill the child, threatened to kill anybody, and I see 2 scratches on your arm. You also, sir, yeah, you want to play that for me?
Yes, I even have an
Go
audio tape
ahead,
of
let
her
me hear it.
saying-
But I still get over the fact why you had me arrested.
Because I was just upset. Things were going through my mind. I'm admitting I'm sorry.
Oh, so you're admitting that you did get me arrested?
This is why he was...
Because I was with another chick?
No, it wasn't only because of that. It was because a lot of things, Jason.
Oh, okay. But then why did you tell him I punched you in your face? I choked the out of you?
No, I didn't say that.
Gigi, the DA said that in the court.
Mr. Lopez, I didn't even have to listen to that. I mean, I've heard this, I've been around this business now for 27 years, right?
Yes.
And I know, when I read your papers, I see her affect, right?
Yeah.
And I know exactly what happened. That doesn't mean that you were smart, A, as I said, to go back to the cell phone, B, to get a telephone call from your girlfriend. Tell your girlfriend, don't call me until I call you. I don't want to create any more problems with her. I'm going to open presents with the children. Don't call me. That creates a problem.
We had already opened the gifts. This was around the time I was getting ready to leave.
She shouldn't have called you, and you shouldn't have spoken to her. Say, this is a tacky problem. I don't want there to be any problem with her. Don't call me. I'll be there. I'll be home when I'm home. And the reason she called is because it's a little territorial. She's not so happy either. You're going over to visit mother number 1. She's going to be mother number 2. You know, you got to be smart.
She wasn't pregnant at the time.
2 months later. Wow,
Now
big
she
difference.
is. Now she is. Right? And on your security job, you can hardly afford to pay for yourself.
I don't have work.
Listen to me, sir. When you had a security job, you could hardly afford to pay for 1 child. Now you're going to have 2. Did you pay for a lawyer? No. They gave you a free lawyer.
Yes.
You spent a couple of days in jail.
Yes.
You shouldn't have.
And so did I, because he falsely arrested me.
For what?
He said that I made phone harassment. On June 30th, he called me. I have the phone records for that. He called me with my own phone card that he rung up. He falsely arrested me on June 31st. I got arrested. I made the report on June 30th. As soon as the time right after he called me and called them and let them know that he was calling me and harassing me. And he called me with my own phone card. And right after that, he calls his girlfriend and his mother.
No. No.
Ms. Gonzalez, your counterclaim is for the assault that you claim he perpetrated on you
And
on
forced
Christmas
arrest,
Day.
it says it on the paper.
And according to your complaint, you are filing for injuries and damages due to the alleged assault. Okay? You do say somewhere in your answer that he filed false charges, but the damages you are requesting are for the assault, and I don't find that he assaulted you, so your counterclaim is dismissed. The only thing that I have to consider now is whether there was an argument and whether, as a result of false statements that you made and continue to make and continue to embellish to the police.
Not me,
Betty,
because
I'm
I wanna go on with my life. He's the one who brings me here. For what?
He brought you here
For
because
what? He keeps calling me and harassing me.
Listen to me. He's known you a long time. I've met you now for about 15 minutes, and I don't think he's crazy. And I wouldn't precipitate phone calls and contact with you because I think that you're an angry lady. I think that you feel as if he jilted you, that he left you high and dry with your baby, and now he's got somebody else. All of those things, doesn't pay child support, you're not working, but that doesn't give you the right to have him arrested and make false allegations, which I believe that you did, and I'm awarding him $1,000 on his claim. That's all. By the way, she doesn't have your entertainment center.
Yes, she
That's
does.
all.
Your Honor, when we went there, the officers
Goodbye.
explained.
Well, here's our excuse. You may step out. Yeah.
Homemaker Gail LeBlanc is suing bookkeeper Linda Meister for child support costs. Gail says Linda's 17-year-old son, Steve Gwynn, has been living with her for 15 months.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 96 on the calendar in the matter of LeBlanc versus Meister. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. LeBlanc, the defendant's 17-year-old son, he is 17 now,
Yes, ma'am.
has been living with you for the last 15 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And you believe his mother should be contributing to his support.
Yes.
His mother says he should get a job or something. So tell me how it came about that Mrs. Meister's son came to live with you.
Okay, Your Honor, in February of 2001, I was coming home with my children in the van, and I saw this young guy walking on my street in the dark, and I stopped the van. And I said, "That's Steve." And he came in, and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I think I just got kicked out." And I said, "Oh, you want to come home with me and talk about it?" And he said, "Yeah." And we went to my house, and he showed me some marks that a belt had made on him. And he collapsed in my arms crying. And I have 4 sons of my own. And he was friends with one of my sons.
Is that how you know him?
Yeah, he was one of my son's best friends.
Okay.
So he came to my house, and I said, "We need to make sure your mom knows you're okay today, that you're safe tonight." So we called her to make sure she knew. And
Who
then
called her?
I had Steve call his mother from my house to let her know that he was safe that night. And then he went to, I got my kids together, and I said, "Steve needs a place to live. Yeah, I'm your mommy, this is your home. Would you like to let him live here?" And they all said, "Oh yeah, he's like a brother." My youngest gave him his room.
What did his mother say when you called and said he's here? Did you speak to her personally?
No, just she wanted to know where he was, and he didn't want to tell her at the time because he didn't want her to come after him because he felt she was still angry with him. They had just had a discussion at home.
No, well, it sounded like more than a discussion.
So then I called a Christian counselor from my church, and I called his basketball coach, and I called his guidance counselor, and I talked to all of them, and they suggested that I go and have him go to this, it's like a cooling off place, halfway house kind of thing. So he went there. And
For how long?
A couple of days, if I remember correctly, and he said it wasn't good. He wanted to come back home, so he came back to us. And so then he said, can I stay here? And I said, it's fine with me. So Linda and I talked on the phone several times.
Did you call her?
Well, she knew because we saw each other at school.
Okay.
I had conversations with her all the time to let her know, you know, what was going on and all like that. He didn't wish to call her. It seemed every time they talked on the phone that one ended up hanging up on the other. Steve had a bad life. I mean, this may be irrelevant, but I felt so for him because I love my kids more than anything in the world. And he's like one of my babies. He had grown up really bad. He wasn't with his mom. And then when he finally came to her, all this happened, and he...
Where had your son been when he was growing up?
He lived mostly with his father.
Until he was how old?
I believe when they came back to live with me, he was 15.
All right. So I'm going to stop you there. He has been with you now constantly for about 15 months.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever take any legal steps to keep him in your home?
When Steve came to me, I was a recovering breast cancer patient for only a couple of months, and I wasn't really able to do anything that required a lot of energy and effort. But I did talk with Linda on the phone, and she said, I can't handle Steve. You have 4 sons. You obviously know how to deal with boys. If you want him, you can have him. She gave me a paper notarized.
Can I see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you show this to the defendant, please?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so now we have an agreement, and it is dated a month after he came to live with the plaintiff, and you give permission to Mrs. LeBlanc to make all medical decisions with regard to your son and his educational needs.
Correct.
You do indicate that whilst he is physically residing with her, his home of record shall be yours.
Correct.
Why is that?
Because I never looked at this as a permanent situation. This was only to be a temporary situation. In my opinion, it would blow over within a matter of weeks that he would come home.
But he didn't.
But he didn't, no.
What steps did you take to have him return to you?
I did make police reports reporting him as a runaway, which they said was not against the law. I could report him as a missing person, which I didn't.
When did you make a report that he was a runaway?
Twice, once in November and once in February.
Did you go to court to have him return to you?
No, I did not. I did not go to court.
Okay. Did you have become the legal guardian for him?
No, ma'am. I called the court.
No, the answer is you didn't.
No, ma'am.
The answer is you didn't. So this is this loose arrangement based upon this consent form.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you believe that Mrs. Meister should pay minimally $200 a month for his care.
$7 a day.
Well, I understand what it is.
Yeah.
I understand what it is, and I'd like to know your position, Mrs. Meister.
I do not feel that I owe the money or that I should pay for the money. First of all, we're not talking about a 10-year-old that ran away from home. We're talking about a 16, almost 17 years old at the time. The reason he ran away is because he was grounded at the time, and he wasn't happy with the rules. My son and I have always had some conflict. However, he was well cared for. He didn't want for anything. I gave him 4 different options, 5 actually, to this situation. Number 1 was to come home. Number 2 was to return to a Christian boarding school that he was in for 2 years. Number 3 was to live with my brother and his wife, who had offered. 4 was to live with his grandmother, who had offered. And 5 was returned home to his father, which he did not want to do, and I personally did not want him to do. I told him and Mrs. LeBlanc both that I was not paying and that it was up to them to decide what to do from there.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You shouldn't even be here. You should be grateful for her and say thank you in your prayers every night to somebody who has taken your 17-year-old son and clearly done a better job with him over the 1.5 years that he's been in her custody than you and his father could do in all the time you had him.
And later today.
So why are you suing them for $1,100?
She tricked me. It was not good
customer things to worry
service.
about. Don't you have a life?
This is my home.
Don't you have a life?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gail LeBlanc says when Linda Meister's son, 17-year-old Steve Gwynn, ran away from home, she took him in. Gail wants Linda to pay for 15 months of child support.
Do you get copies of your son's report card?
No.
You do?
Yes, ma'am.
In the 15 months that he's been living with you, can you tell me how he's been doing in school?
His grades have gone up and up. He just graduated with honors. And when he came to me, he was doing pretty badly in school. He said he had never had help with homework, and I do that
So he
kind
graduated
of
from high school?
Yes.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I have a copy of his previous report card just prior to him running away from home, and it shows that his grades were not bad.
I'll take a look at his report card.
Thank you.
In English, his first term was a B, and it went down to a D. In American history, he had an A, and he went down to a B. In chemistry, he went from a B to a C, and now he's graduated with honors. So whatever is happening in Miss LeBlanc's house, it's clearly positive. And if you were a concerned parent, I assume you would have gone to school and found out that whatever is going on there is positive. So why would you want to send him to his uncle or to his grandmother or back to his father?
Because I wanted him to be with family.
Evidently, that was a misjudgment on your part.
Possibly.
Then
Unfortunately,
you
they
have to
don't
pay
come.
the money, madam. It is not her responsibility to take care of your child.
I agree.
That's absolutely right. And if you wanted him back, there are courts where you could go to say, I want my child home with me. Then it would be left up to a family court judge to determine whether or not you were an appropriate caretaker. You chose not to do that. You chose to let the situation progress for 15 months and to wash your hands of the responsibility financially. Well, you can't do that.
Your
When
Honor,
your child was with his father, did you pay child support?
I sent money.
Did you pay regular child support?
No, I was not ordered to pay child support.
You don't have to be ordered. Nobody has to order you to pay child support. You pay child support because you have a
I sent
child.
money for other things, Your Honor, to help with clothing, to help with anything.
When he
needed.
came to you, did his father pay child support?
No.
Did you ever take him to court for child support?
We had, actually his father is the one who has custody of him.
What was the agreement? That his father wouldn't pay any child support for a 14-year-old?
When he came to live with me, I removed them from the home.
Yes.
His father never pursued getting him back. His father has not spoken to me or to the children since I removed them from the home.
So what? That doesn't prevent you from going to court and getting child support from his father for the time he was living with you?
No, it doesn't.
Well, you chose not to do that. Maybe you chose not to do that because for the 9 years he lived with his father never pursued support for him from you. That doesn't prevent her. And she would be crazy to take away money from her own family, from her own children, to support your child who you couldn't deal with.
Then she should have sent him home.
What?
She should have sent him home then. I don't understand why she didn't send him home.
Very easily, madam, because you could not control the situation. And I'm not saying you couldn't control him. You could not control a situation. She's suing for the past 15 months. She's suing for a minimal amount of money, $3,000, $200 a month, $7 a day. Ridiculous. You can't feed a medium-sized dog for $7 a day. You shouldn't even be here. You should be grateful for her and say thank you in your prayers every night to somebody who has taken your 17-year-old son and clearly done a better job with him over the year and a half that he's been in her custody than you and his father could do in all the time you had him. So you should bless her and not be standing over there. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. That's all.
All right, you guys, excuse, you may step out.
I felt he needed guidance and he needed a lot of love.
If she would have just sent my son home instead of believing every word that came out of his mouth, this whole thing would have blown over.
He's an excellent kid. He's a good kid.
I believe he told a lot of lies to get where he's at.
I wouldn't mind starting another relationship with her, building up on maybe living with her again.
I love my son and I want him happy.
Just giving birth does not, sometimes in some people, cause a maternal instinct. A family is love.
Yesterday on Judge Judy, the plaintiff, Andy Heath, claims she was sexually assaulted by the defendant, S. Lyle Marple, while riding with him on his jet ski.
Before we took off, he put his hands on my thighs, and I thought that maybe that's just the way he wanted to hold on. But he pulled his hands up higher into my bathing suit, and he burst himself inside me.
The defendant denies the plaintiff's allegations.
She had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Like what?
Money, because she was going to sue. More drugs, because she could go to the doctor. So she had the sympathy of everybody feeling sorry for her about this thing that happened, which didn't happen.
And his witness thinks he has the proof.
We have a videotape showing that she had a wonderful time through the whole party.
Now, the conclusion.
I want to see the video. You have it?
Yes, we do.
Let me see it.
I can explain scenes that I see.
Are there scenes of the plaintiff?
Yes.
After this incident?
Yes.
All right, let me see after the ride.
That's okay.
You're doing great.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Come on, pose a little bit.
This is good music, Ron.
Oh, you like that, huh? Yeah. Little third world. It's the most beer I've ever seen Stanley drink. How you doing, Stan? You having a good
Is this
time
before or after the ride?
This is after the ride. If you can see Stanley where he had his vest on, his t-shirt's still wet. It's dry where the vest covers his shirt. But this is after the
Now,
ride.
is that, just a second, is that Stanley dancing around?
That's Stanley dancing around.
All right, that's Stanley dancing.
And that was the defendant.
Was that her dancing?
She's floating in and out.
Do the dancing, baby. Come on, do the dancing, baby.
Do it,
I'm
Stan.
talking to my husband, Your
Come on,
Honor.
do the dancing, baby.
Come on, Pam, do it.
If you notice what's going in the background, Your Honor, this gentleman's wife was attempting.
You didn't do it.
Hey, Pam.
You know? Pam almost pulled Stan's pants down, but she chickened out at the last minute.
Do the gorilla. You do the see you can Pam.
Okay. Mr. Heath, it did appear that your wife was not, at least overtly, traumatized. This was after the incident.
Yes,
I believe she was in shock, Your Honor.
You're not an expert.
That's true.
You are not a psychiatric expert.
That's true, Your Honor. I've been with my wife for 12 years, and I know her very well. And I know the difference of how she was feeling before and after the ride.
Well, you couldn't tell that she was feeling badly afterwards.
I could tell that the people that we normally hang out with, she totally avoided.
You couldn't tell from looking at that your wife had just suffered a traumatic event.
That's true.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes, it is.
I didn't want him to know, Your Honor.
It may be, but you have the possibility of just withdrawing at the party and sitting down, sitting, having a drink, not saying anything, but you were participating at the party at this.
Flying all over the place.
You were
Your
flying
Honor.
all over the place. Had you had anything to drink before you went on the Sea-Doo?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you have to drink?
Snow Creek wine.
What is that?
It's like a Boone's Farm. And I was in the pool so much, I just come back and put ice in it.
Okay, so how many drinks did you have?
One. And also this gentleman's wife and I went to the store to buy a bottle of Malibu rum. And I had a little bit of Malibu rum in with that, but then again, I just kept putting ice in it. I'm not a drinker, Your Honor.
Okay, and what about you, sir? How much did you have to drink?
I had like a beer or two, and then later on I had a few more beers.
Did you drink anything other than beer?
No.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, at the end of the party, it was strange because I've really had an enjoyable time with these people. And at the end, after it was that diffusing, she gave me a kiss, my wife a kiss, Stanley a kiss. My wife she spent 80% of the time with this lady in the pool, and it's on the tape. You see them that they're together all the time. My wife has things to say.
I'd like to.
It also says in here that she needed to be on medication for the rest of her life. And well,
sit down.
All right, but Pam.
Yes.
I did spend most of the time at the party with Andy, and we did have a really good time. We drank quite a bit. The bottle of Malibu rum that she did bring, I had one glass, and I know that it was empty at the end of the party.
That's incorrect.
And I'll admit that we were both drunk at the party. When she left, she was very drunk. Her whole demeanor throughout the party with her, she didn't act like anybody that had anything happen to them. I am an RN, I work in an emergency room, and I do take care of women who are sexually assaulted or raped.
Did you see any marks or bruises on the plaintiff?
No, I never saw any marks or bruises, and also on the video, I never noted any marks or bruises on her.
Anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, one other thing, Stanley did obtain her medical records, and it does show that she has been on psychiatric drugs and sedatives for years before this incident. Also has a history of psychiatric
I'd like to see them.
problems. It's right there on the paperwork.
What do you take Paxil for?
I was taking Paxil because my mother had 29 surgeries in less than a year.
Well, Paxil is a psychiatric drug. You know that?
Yes,
Shh,
sir.
pay attention.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you start to take Paxil?
About 3 years ago.
So your answer to me that you were not taking any medication, shh, listen to me. Your husband's answer.
Yes, ma'am.
So you telling me that your husband didn't know that you were taking Paxil?
Yes, you did, ma'am.
I don't even know what Paxil is for.
Lorazepam, what do you take that for?
For sleeping. Not any longer.
But you did then?
Yes, ma'am.
When was your last prescription?
Approximately a year ago.
This happened on the 19th of August, 2000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you go to the doctor on the 2nd of August?
I don't recall, Your Honor.
Did you complain to the doctor at that point that you had a rash on your back, some on your legs, and also in the vaginal area?
No, not in the vaginal area. I don't remember that. I do remember
That's what the doctor reports.
Okay, well then
Miss
that is
Heath.
possible, Your Honor.
That was on the 2nd. He increased your Paxil to 40 milligrams, is that right?
I believe so, yes, Your Honor.
You also called July 27th, indicating that you were going out of town to take care of your brother and you'll run out of your Paxil. And when they called to check at the pharmacy, they indicate that you had 4 refills for Walgreens.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you had enough.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were also taking sleeping pills before.
Yes, Your Honor.
At some point, did the doctor tell you that they wanted to wean you off these sleeping pills?
I wanted to wean it off.
Doctor reported sometime prior to this that you wanted some additional medication, and the doctor explained that that would be a fraud. Explained to patient that she'll need to be seen before we can refill the lorazepam. Patient states she'll see what she can do to get in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Doctor reports that you started to take some medication due to an attempted suicide in September of 1999, owing to stress. Did you attempt suicide in 1999?
No, Your Honor. That was September of 2000, Your Honor.
September of 1999.
No, Your Honor.
Is what this report indicates. You take a lot of Paxil and a lot of the other medication, according to this report.
Not anymore, Your Honor.
Wow.
I'm on different medication.
What kind of medication are you on?
I'm on trazodone and Effexor. Trazodone is for sleep, Effexor is for antidepressant.
But that wasn't as a result of
And
this
Xanax.
incident.
Yes, Your Honor.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Andy Heath says former friend S. Lyle Marple sexually assaulted her at a party. S. Lyle says Andy is lying.
There's a lot of information here. Is there anything else that you want me to read?
My answer to her complaint.
Well, that's self-serving, sir. Your answer is self-serving.
Your Honor, may I make a
Yes.
statement? Her and I did become very good friends. We have a friend in common. She made the interest in the fact that she enjoyed drinking Malibu rum, as did I. The Malibu rum was not empty, Your Honor. I still have it in my refrigerator.
Whether
as
it
of
was
this
or whether
day.
it was not, madam, are you given specific instructions when you take Paxil with regard to any alcohol?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you allowed to have any alcohol if you are taking medication?
No, and I drink wine.
You are not supposed to have any alcohol if you are taking Paxil. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were, in fact, taking Paxil, as well as other medication, on this day.
But that is not instructed on the Paxil bottle.
Miss Heath.
It is on Effexor.
Miss Heath, one of the problems is that when I asked that specific question before, whether there was ever any indication that you had a problem before this, your husband said never a problem, you don't take any medication, there was never any psychotropic medication, nothing. And so that would lend certain credibility to your statements that as a result of this incident, you became so traumatized that you now have stress, can't sleep, you're on medication, you know, all that goes together. But all that happened before. Your husband was not honest with me when he...
Your Honor, I
Mr.
didn't know.
Heath.
I'm not trying to be
Well, you were misleading to me. Your wife has been on heavy-duty medication for a long time. You know, this is a very, very difficult matter for anybody to handle in a relatively short period of time. There is no medical evidence of sexual assault. So I have to listen to the two testimonies. And I have to find to my satisfaction, by a preponderance of the evidence, that this did in fact occur. My initial reaction from hearing your story was that maybe everybody's a little drunk and he got a little out of hand, pay careful attention to me. Don't interrupt me. That's why you ask questions, because before you find somebody, in effect, guilty of this kind of horrific experience, you have to be really satisfied. And as a judge and as a woman, I find that this kind of experience can be, and to most women would be, very traumatic. The response to that trauma would be to say to your husband, get your bathing suit, we're leaving. And then I see a tape, Ms. Heath, of you apparently partying afterwards. I would have to have some pretty substantial psychiatric testimony from a treating therapist that would indicate to me that due to this kind of stress, you may have been suffering a post-traumatic stress even during this period of time, which so altered your mood that would permit a video to be taken of you seemingly laughing and having a good time, encouraging your husband to dance. But I don't have that. Listen to me. I don't have that expert testimony.
Yes, ma'am, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
You're not paying attention.
I'm sorry.
I don't have what your therapist says happens here because I cannot examine your therapist.
Yes, ma'am.
I do not take this as fact.
Yes,
what I take as fact are your medical records that indicate that you were prescribed over a long period of time serious medication. You complained for a long period of time that as a result of stress you couldn't sleep. You asked the doctor on more than one occasion to provide more medication than the doctor would provide because he says you already have enough. You got that prescription filled 2 days ago. I'm not going to refill it again. That's objective data from the medical records. The statement from your therapist, Ms. Heath, is self-serving, and without that therapist here, I have a difficult time making a judgment, quite frankly, viewing the tape, looking at these medical records, listening to your husband, plus the fact that you decided, whether on advice of your therapist or not to take a polygraph test, despite the fact that he took one. And his polygraph test did not vindicate him, according to the detective's report, because I don't have the polygraph here either. It didn't say you did it. It didn't say you didn't do it. It said some of your answers were deceptive. But it didn't even say that you had declined to take a polygraph test.
She didn't decline. She offered to.
She didn't take it.
Right.
Because if she had taken it, they would have said she took it.
I have something very important to address to you.
Go ahead.
This tape that they have shown was before the ride, Your Honor, not after the ride.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
After the ride, I went over to make sure that I could hold myself together. And I gave him 5. I said, give me 5 to make sure I could hold myself together. And then he was nowhere around me until I was ready to leave and he was sitting in my seat.
It was after the ride. In fact, if you look at the whole tape, there are parts in there where you can tell. At one point, he asked what time it was. It was like 6:30. You can kind of tell throughout the tape, you know, where he went and got his jet ski and took it back, and especially with him being wet. He only went out in the water. He never went in the pool once. He was only in the water twice. When she got back, we jumped in the water a couple times after that. She was having so much fun. We ran on the dock.
He walked right through the break next to
Mr. Heath.
We jumped off the dock and swam to the shore. We were having a great time.
Before the ride?
No, that was after the ride. And if she was assaulted, why would she let a little 13-year-old girl go on the boat right after her?
Don't ask them a question.
May I answer that?
No.
Your Honor.
Listen to me. Accusing someone of what I consider a vicious attack is serious business.
Yes, it is.
And I have to be totally satisfied that this incident occurred as you indicate.
Yes,
because we're not talking about the money judgment that you're requesting so much,
ma'am.
but we're talking about making a statement publicly that this man violated you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In order for me to do that, I have to feel totally comfortable, Ms. Heath. So what is the objective evidence that I have? The objective evidence is that you were taking very serious medication for a substantial period of time before this happened, medication that should not be taken in conjunction with alcohol. You decided, for whatever reason, not to get your husband, which would have been a totally reasonable response, immediately afterwards and say, let's get out of here. We're getting out of here. I'm just talking to you about objective data. Do you understand? The objective data is I have a report here that indicates that you started to take medication, and you've been taking medication for stress for a very long time, and in your own hand or in the hand of another professional, it does say that you did in fact attempt suicide, something that you didn't tell me. I have the defendant, who probably, based upon his own statements and based upon the statements of his witness, wasn't too bright, because if he takes women on his ski-doo, what he does is he either holds on to the back of the jacket, puts his hand around his waist, and not be stupid, and grab them onto their waist where you might put your hands in and around their thigh area. That isn't smart. Do you understand? Not smart. That does not necessarily make you a sexual deviant. Okay. He says he did not do this. Your mother says she observed certain bruising on your thighs. The medical records indicate that the doctor who you saw during the month of August noted redness.
But not scratches.
There is no medical evidence of scratches, madam. If you went to the doctor immediately after this incident, which you did not do, and the doctor had looked at you and saw nail scratches, nail marks, something.
Ma'am, when I went to the doctor, he's known me so long, being so strong with my mom, that he didn't even look, he didn't even check. He just walked out of the room.
That may be. But this is the objective data that I do not have, which is probably why the police department there chose not to prosecute him.
Ma'am.
There was a prosecutor that wanted to.
The state.
He kept having it postponed, and they put somebody else in there who dropped the case.
It's been postponed and withdrawn for 7 months.
What I'm telling you is, when you have this kind of an assault, especially if you have this kind of an assault, and there was some indication that there was another child, a 13-year-old, who is not a witness here today, so I don't know that, was also inappropriately touched, then the prosecutors proceed. You may be 100% truthful. I, as a judge, have to deal with objective data. And based upon what I have seen, I cannot in good conscience label this man a sexual deviant. I cannot. Only you folks and your consciences know what happened that day. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. That's the back door to your right. Now, this is case number 191 on the calendar in the matter of Burke versus Martins.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have seats, please.
Ms. Burke, according to your complaint, in July of this year,
Yes.
you moved in with the defendant, signing a 6-month lease with her.
Correct.
As a roommate.
Correct.
It was not a match made in heaven.
No.
It is your claim that 3 weeks later, she forcibly evicted you from the premises. You are suing her for the expenses that you incurred as a result of that move.
Correct.
Okay. The defendant is counterclaiming, claiming that you breached your lease with her, you had no basis to move, and she claims that you did certain damage to the premises. Is that right?
Correct.
How did you find this roommate situation, Ms. Burke?
I have a copy of her ad in Roommate Finders. It's a roommate service, and I went through that service.
Did you find it online? Is that what you did?
Yes.
Okay. So when did you move in?
On July 25th.
And did you pay August's rent?
Yes, I did.
Which was $800?
Yes, I have a copy of all of my canceled checks.
I don't think that she denies that.
No,
And you
I
paid an additional $400?
Yes, I did.
Is that right?
Yes.
All right, so what caused you to move?
Well, when I moved in, and actually when I came to look at the place, Miss Martinson informed me that she was a massage therapist and that she worked from her home. I wanted to know what kind of massage she performed, and I asked her specifically, is it like sports injury massage? And she said, oh yeah, that's basically what I do. And I said, well, what hours do you perform massage out of the house? And she told me it was strictly during the day. And I was fine with that. She was what I thought was a struggling mother who just had a child, and anyway, I don't want to ramble. Anyway, 2 nights after I moved in, I was walking from my bedroom to the kitchen, and in the living room were 2 naked people. The naked man was lying on his back on the massage table, and the naked woman, not Mrs. Martins, was massaging the naked man in the portion of his body that should be covered by a towel.
Your Honor, this is not true.
Just a minute. Go ahead.
It is true. I informed Miss Martins what I had seen, and she told me that she didn't know what was going on, and that she was very upset with her friend, and that she would take care of it, and that wouldn't happen again.
Someone else worked out of your house as well?
No, I had a girlfriend. She was there. She's here in the building. She would like to testify, just not on camera. She will testify that that is an incorrect statement.
Was she using your house at any time to give massages, whatever kind of massages they were?
She was spending the night, her and her boyfriend. What they were doing that night, I don't know.
She was, according to her, giving him a great massage.
A couple nights later, I walked out, and the same naked woman was there with a different naked man. This time she was crawling on top of the naked man.
In the living room?
Yes. And I informed Mrs. Martinson again. She promised again it wouldn't happen. I just wanted to believe that it wouldn't happen again. But it continued to happen. As a matter of fact, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon this time, and her friend had come over with this third, different man, and they had gone into the back bedroom. And when I asked Rebecca about it, she stated that she didn't think that there was anything wrong with it, and that I told her that from what I had witnessed, it was basically prostitution in my definition, and that I'd worked far too hard for my goals. I'm also a full-time student, that I wasn't going to let what she was doing put me at risk because of these strange men coming in the house.
This was after about a week?
That was about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Okay, so you had this confrontation with her after 2 weeks, and whether she was correct as to what she saw, accurate as to what she's reporting. Just listen to me. You didn't let me finish.
Sorry.
Whether she is correct or she is incorrect about what she saw, you did have this discussion with her during this first and second week of her tenancy.
It was after the first week.
So whether it's right or it's wrong, this is what she reported to you and complained about. Is that right?
Half of it.
Fine.
Not
Even if it's
entirely.
half. I don't care which half, the bottom half or the top half. It doesn't make any difference. It's half.
Okay.
Okay. So what happened? So now you're in the second week.
Right.
Go ahead.
I had finals coming up in a week, so I knew that I had to concentrate on finals, so I basically needed to deal with this afterwards. Did my studying mostly from my office, sometimes picked up the dogs and took them to the dog park and studied there, anything to keep from going home because of what was going on at the house. I didn't want to go home. After I finished my finals on August 12th, I got home at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and I went back, and my dog was out there with a muzzle on his nose. It was about 100 degrees out in the valley on that day, and he was sick and lethargic. I threw him in the pool and brought him inside to bring his body temperature down, and called the emergency vet.
Because he couldn't pant.
He couldn't pant, he couldn't drink. And I called the emergency vets, and they told me just to monitor him, and he got better, so I didn't end up taking him to the vet, but they did tell me that if he had been there longer, he would have
Don't tell me
died.
what they told you. Muzzle was tight on his face, couldn't pant, which means you can't get rid of the heat.
Right.
Couldn't drink. Okay. Did you discuss that with her?
Yes, I was actually very upset when it happened, but I realized by the time she got home about 4 hours later, I didn't want any kind of confrontation, so I just calmly said, please don't do this. You know, it put him at danger, and I don't want to, you know, he could have died.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tara Burke claims former roommate Rebecca Martins forced her to move. Tara says Rebecca is running an illegal massage business.
So what happened next?
I basically stayed in my room that night. The next day I went to work. It wasn't until 2 nights later. Miss Martinson was getting ready for bed, and I informed her that I didn't think the situation was going to work out and gave her my notice.
Okay.
The next night I got home at about 8 o'clock, and Miss Martins was in a rage. And she asked me if I'd found a place yet. And I told her no, of course I hadn't. We had just spoken about it the night before. And at that point, she started screaming at me and, you know, saying that I use the house as a hotel and I've been gone all day. And I said, I have a job. Of course I've been gone all day. And she said, well, you're off at 3. You know, it's 8 o'clock. Where have you been all this time? And I was actually shocked that she would even be questioning me on that. She's just a roommate. So basically, she started getting more and more aggravated and informed me that if I left for work the next morning, she was going to throw my belongings out on the lawn and change the locks. At which point I told her that she couldn't do that, that wasn't legal. And she started, you know, saying, well, you can sue me, but that won't do you any good. And I said, well, you're out of control. And I reached for the phone to grab 911, and she came after me. No. So I ran out the side door of the house, and I ran to the neighbor's house and called 911 and waited at the neighbor's house for the police to show up. The police showed up, and they spoke to each one of us separately. They came out and told me that it was illegal for her to do that, and if she were to try to do that, that I should call them back and they would come back and arrest her, and that I should try to get out as quickly as possible, and I told them that I would.
So you moved out the next day?
Yes. And the entire time I was moving out, she was behind me screaming and threatening me. And
okay, so you moved out on the 16th?
Correct.
Okay, now let's hear your version.
Okay, it's really not quite what she said.
Just tell me your version, I'll decide.
She comes to visit on my ad. I liked her, I let her move in. Everything was okay. She paid me the money. The dogs came after, about 3 days later, and they were a problem from the onset.
But she told you she had dogs before.
Right, but she also told me it was a 7-year-old Rottweiler, and it was a 2-year-old Lab that was very well behaved. They were not. The 7-year-old was in heat, and the male was very aggressive. I have pictures of where he bit my dog. He bit my dog 3 times, and that is the reason the muzzle was put on. And she was the one that told me, if they get out of hand, put the muzzle on it, it's in the garage. So that is why I did that after my dog was bitten. And the reason why I had the fight with her at all was because she wasn't looking after her dogs. They had escaped from the yard twice. I have a witness here to testify that they ended up down the block twice. And so she brought me into it saying I had to go look for the dogs.
So let's go back to the 14th of August, a couple of days before she moved out.
Actually, we need to go back up to the first week. After the first week, she got upset because of having a friend over, and she said she saw what she saw. I never saw it, denied it.
That's incorrect.
So that day, she said, I can't handle this. I'm giving you my 2-week notice.
Okay.
So then on the 14th,
Your Honor, that's
she reiterated to me that she was moving out at the same point that we fought over the dogs. I said, your dog's in heat. The male dog is beating up my dog. You need to separate them. And then she did. She put them a few days earlier in the dog run, but then there's no shade there. So I had to keep giving them buckets of water. I had to keep hosing them down. Meanwhile, I have a sick baby in the house.
Okay,
and so it
so
was an
now we're at the
inconvenience to
14th
me.
and 15th. Go ahead.
Right. And so I told her, I said, you're not looking after your animals. I'm not looking after them tomorrow. I said, I am not looking after your pets one more day. This is not a daycare for animals. It's not included with the rent.
Okay.
So she got all mad at me. She grabbed my phone. She ran to her room. Of course, I followed her because she had my phone in her hand. I didn't agree to let her use my phone. And so she goes, I'm calling 911. I'm like, for what? And so she exited out the side door of her room, and she went outside because I unplugged the phone in the living room so she couldn't use the phone.
Why did she do that?
Because she grabbed my phone. She didn't have permission to use it.
Well, you knew she was calling the police.
She said she was. I didn't know what she was
Well,
going
what
to
did
do.
she think? Who did she think she was going to call?
I don't know. I wasn't really sure, but I didn't want her using my phone.
Go ahead.
So I unplugged it, and so she couldn't use it. So then I guess she went to the neighbors.
Right.
The police
She called
came.
the police.
Right.
Police told you you couldn't evict her.
And I said, well, she gave her 2-week notice, and it's up tomorrow.
But she's already paid up till the end of the month.
She gave her 2-week notice.
She paid up till the end of the month.
Okay, well, if I had someone else that wanted to move in because she had given her notice.
Okay, so she moved out the next day.
She moved her dogs at 9 in the morning, and I thought, great, the dogs are gone. Then she came back a couple hours, and after her and her friend had berated me, and that's why the police were called again that day, and they came to keep the peace. So the police were there the day she moved out with her truck, and upon leaving, she decided to vandalize my car. I have pictures here. She scratched to 3-foot scratch across my brand new car.
Who saw her do that?
The neighbor across the street.
Where's the neighbor?
They didn't want to be on camera.
Everybody doesn't want to be on camera. You must have people who are wanted for something. Let me explain something to you. I take testimony.
Right.
I'll hear a witness.
Yes, there is a witness here.
Who?
Carrie is a neighbor down the block that testified to her dogs being out.
I'm not interested in the dogs being out. I'm interested in vandalizing your car.
Oh, this is the picture.
I'm not interested in the picture. I'm interested in somebody who saw her vandalize your car.
Well, I didn't see her actually do it.
Fine.
But
Let's
she
move
was
on.
standing next to the car.
Let's move on. I'm going to deal with your counterclaim first.
Right.
Damage to the car I've dealt with. I don't have anybody who saw her do it. What about a fence?
Yes. The fence was destroyed by her dogs.
Let me see. Did your dogs do this?
I have no idea. This is the first I've heard of it. She has a dog as well, so I don't know whether mine
How did they do this to the fence?
The Rottweiler dug under the fence, and the lab started chewing on the fence and ripped it off. I made a police report the day that the police came to keep the peace, and they saw it, and they made a note of it in the
Your
report.
Honor, I'm the one who called the police.
Just a second.
No, you didn't.
Just a second. You have a police report?
I
this
called
fence?
the police
Do you
that
have a police
day.
report about the fence?
They didn't say it in there, but they want to know about the car incident as well.
I don't know about the car. I'm talking about the fence.
It doesn't say anything about the fence, but it shows
Fine.
an investigation.
Fine. I want to know about the fence.
Right.
You said
this is the whole incident.
Is there anything in there about the fence? The answer
It
is
doesn't
yes
say the
or
word
no.
fence.
Now, reimbursements of cleaning costs. What are the cleaning costs?
Yes, $70 per hour, 2-hour minimum.
For what?
For cleaning up the state of the room that she left it. I have pictures of the way she left the room.
Can I see it, please?
And you have to look closely on the floor. There's about an inch thick of dog hair.
This is the room the way she left it?
On the floor, yeah.
It's pretty clean to me. Next.
There's dog hair on. No, look on the floor.
I'm looking at the floor.
Okay, and the
Looks pretty clean to you?
Looks clean to me.
Next. What else?
Okay.
Defamation of character and miscellaneous expenses.
Right, the biting of my dog.
Forget it.
Was a show dog.
Okay, good.
Okay. The dog.
Miss Martins, I'm not going to torture you anymore. Let me give it to you as I see it, madam.
Okay.
The plaintiff wanted a roommate.
Yes.
She wanted to live with someone. She answered your ad.
Yes.
In good faith, she came. You asked her for $400 security.
Yes.
She gave you $400 security.
Yes.
She agreed to move in. She moved in on or about the 25th of July. She paid you the entire amount of rent.
Yes.
So that she was all paid up through the end of August. She was so uncomfortable with the situation there that she saw, so uncomfortable that according to you, she was so upset that your friend was doing business out of your house that after 1 week, she said,
Hello, and welcome back to our channel.
Today, we're teaching you how to flirt in English without being creepy.
I'm Nancy.
And I'm Sam.
If you've ever liked someone but had no idea how to show interest, this video is for you. Please subscribe.
Let's make sure you never make Nancy's mistake.
Hook, Nancy's nice teeth disaster. I once tried to flirt with an attractive guy at a party. I walked up and said, "Hi, you have really nice teeth."
You complimented his teeth?
I thought it was specific, but he said, thanks, and backed away slowly. He avoided me the rest of the party.
Nice teeth sounds like you want to steal them.
I learned the hard way. Some compliments are charming. Some are creepy. Part 1. Charming versus creepy compliments.
Charming compliments.
Charming compliments. I love your style. You have great energy. That's a cool jacket.
Focus on their choices, not their body.
Creepy compliments.
Creepy compliments. You have nice teeth. Your body is amazing. You smell good.
Body parts equals creepy. Part 2. How to start.
Make eye contact and smile first. If they smile back, approach.
Good openers. Hi, how do you know the host? What are you reading? Can I join you?
Bad openers. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Are you single?
Keep it casual. Part 3. Reading the signals.
Signs they're not interested. Stop.
X. One-word answers. Looking at phone. Body turned away.
Say nice talking to you and leave.
Signs they are interested. Continue.
Yes, making eye contact, asking questions back, laughing at your jokes.
But still be respectful. Part 4. Asking for their number.
If it's going well, ask.
Good ways. Can I get your number? Want to exchange numbers?
Bad ways. Give me your number. Why won't you give it?
If they say no, no problem. Nice meeting you.
Respecting no is the most attractive thing you can do.
Quick summary. Quick rules.
1. Compliment their choices, not their body.
Compliment their style.
2. Start casual. Smile and eye contact first.
Start casual.
3. Watch for disinterest signals. Respect them.
Accept no.
4. Ask for a number respectfully. Accept no gracefully. The key, make them feel good, not uncomfortable.
Confidence plus respect equals attractive. Question and CTA.
What's your most awkward flirting attempt? Comment below.
If this saves you from my nice teeth disaster, give us a thumbs up.
Subscribe to our channel for daily lessons.
You've got this. Now go flirt respectfully. Goodbye.
Goodbye.